GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Hey guys, it's Sleazy. Just a quick programming note for this episode. We had taped this episode live from 4 different locations, including Chip, who was in his car for like the first 20-25 minutes. So you'll hear a little bit more of car noise and wind than you'd normally hear in a normal episode. Plus, I'm still on location here in Providence as I'm taping this as well. So be aware of that. It goes away after about 20-25 minutes into the episode, but either way, it's great content, so I have to leave it in. But anyway, on to the show. So, Fat Man.
So, Sleazy.
Where are you right now?
I am at the Fat Cave, as you can well see. And I know you are still being a mark in Providence,
Cool. Where's Ryan?
I'm in the same spot I always in. My man-ish cave?
Okay, where are you, Chip?
I-95, Georgia. Right outside Savannah.
Well,
Hey, in Georgia.
we're in 4 different states and 2 different countries. So let's talk about Wrestlemania Backlash on The Wrestling Show. And welcome everyone to another wonderful episode. Today we have on location in Georgia. Chip
Good old
is
peach
here.
tea. Already got the peach tea. Got 2 bottles of it.
Oh my goodness! Chip
What a
is
mark.
Chip is being a Georgia mark, and of course the man who has more pieces of Nintendo paraphernalia behind him than anyone else on this show. Ryan Williams is here with us today.
There you go.
So, as you probably pretty much guessed, we're in 4 different places because some of us are still left in Providence, some of us went back home, some of us decided to go to Florida? I guess? I don't know. So
He was supposed to go with us, and then he's all like, fuck that. Oh, oops, my bad. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, we can say fuck. We can say fuck. We're good. We can say fuck.
So welcome to a semi-live version of the wrestling show. We're going to try and go as quickly as we can to get through WrestleMania Backlash. Fat Man and I were both there live. Chip and Ryan both watched it. So live, quote unquote.
Ish. I literally just finished it 20 minutes ago.
I mean,
And it's so much better if you had to have your phone as you're watching the main event coming on the podcast.
I actually almost did that.
Why don't you smoke another one, Chip? God.
Had I not fast forwarded through the introductions, that would have been done.
Dude, that's what I did.
Hold up, guys. Okay, let's go.
oh, there's the finish. We're done. Okay, we're good.
That's what I did.
And that's what she said.
I wanted to get a live perspective, and then I wish we were there, and obviously a TV perspective, and I had some shit come up yesterday that didn't come up, but then I had other shit come up, so, like, I had to, like, speed run it today after work, so I pretty much just watched the matches.
Oh, update. We are now in South Carolina.
What a mark.
Now, if in South Carolina, if you turn your head to the left, you'll see 2 cousins marrying.
If you turn your head to the right,
You'll see the other 2 cousins marrying.
well done. I'll take it.
That's Alabama, you dick.
So did anyone watch the pre-show?
I did.
You know.
I watched it just to see if I could see you two fucks.
Well,
I mean,
didn't happen.
we're two fat fucks, so how did you not see us? I did mention to see it. We were on it for like a second, not on the pre-show, but the main show.
were we?
When they were panning the crowd, and like I saw my red hat and I saw you, and that was it. Like we were on there for like a second.
Cool. So we're now live on pay-per-view.
No,
It's been a while since we've been on.
not on
Not a
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view.
Yes, pay-per-view. Just not in the
I made
country.
That's literally what I said
So
at
you
the
mean
show.
me.
You're like, no.
You mean not to call it a paper? Like,
Go ahead.
It is a
Correct.
premium live event, sir. All right, so the show.
We were at.
you were at a super house show, in your opinion.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, we were. We actually will get into that.
Yeah.
So the show opened with Seth freaking Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. No freaking. 20 minutes and 45 seconds. I mean, Meltzer star ratings aren't out yet because Kenny Omega's on the show. I got John Canton's. Canton gave this 4.25.
I'd like to know what he thought was missing.
Chip froze. Because he's a mark. What
Yeah,
is
I'd like to know what he thought was missing. Like,
And
anything-
Ryan says this to me when I don't give a match 5 stars. And then he goes to me and he goes, what was missing out of that match? Ryan, I had one word for this match.
Oh, he's gonna say it.
Perfection.
Woohoo!
Remember I
That's an
said
underrated piece of shit.
Kane's an underrated piece of shit. What I said was it didn't hurt Cody losing. It doesn't hurt Seth losing. It doesn't matter. They did it in a way where Cody won, so he didn't have to lose. Seth has a gripe, so they set up a rematch, which I thought they were going to do, anyway. They booked this perfectly to where I have no gripes. It didn't matter who won or lost, but they made the right decision, and I'm going to do it. 5 stars. Absolute perfection.
What was the match missing?
Nothing, apparently.
Nothing. It was just, like Sleazy would say, every time he sees Asian food. Mwah.
So, like, my question is the foolishness, because I think this opening match of this pay-per-view and the end of the match of this pay-per-view, or premium live event, I do apologize, were both as fantastic as the other one. So, I guess if I was rating them like, you guys, this is a 5 stars, and I think the main event was a 5 stars, but, like, they opened this pay-per-view fucking hot and amazing. And they ended this premium live event fucking hot and amazing.
Yep. Sleazy.
Yeah, I was letting you tell Fat Man how he was like, Seth is winning last week, so you get him.
No, we talked about it again. We were walking around Providence, and I made the same points. I made the same point saying, I think Seth's going to win, but it doesn't matter because they're having as long as they set up a third match, and they did. And they did it, like I said, in a way where Cody won, so it didn't hurt him, even with him, quote, cheating, pulling the tights. Seth lost, which I told it wasn't going to hurt him anyway, but now Seth has a gripe, and it set up a third match. Every box was checked. So, with all of us collectively.
Yeah.
Everything
absolutely.
we wanted. So, that was the perfect way to book that match.
So, fuck all of you that say WWE Creative is terrible. I mean, on a good day, they actually did something good here. You know?
The blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
Wow.
What do you say? I'm sorry.
The blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So, I can't say for sure whether or not this is a 5-star match because and as everyone knows, when I go to a live event, I don't go back and watch it because I like to take in the live event as it is and pull the full Marky Mark experience out of it, you know, the enjoyable stuff, get all into the Funky Bunch and whatnot, right? You're welcome. We're gonna get thrown off the air because
the fat balls there.
Yeah,
look at them.
Right.
They're pretty big.
No, but I loved the match. I thought it was a great way to open. But I just want to start off by saying the weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about the weekend and some of the things that happened as a result of this match. But I think it was perfectly done. It was perfectly booked. You can't get any better than that. You really can't. So, Chip, before you get into North Carolina.
I wish a lot of you would know this after work early. Anyways, I thought this is every match that I wanted the WrestleMania match to have. Everything I wanted in that WrestleMania match as a debut for Cody happened in this match. 5-star all around. Can't wait to see how this feud progresses.
Oh my, this 100% blew their WrestleMania match out of water.
Without question.
Oh, it did. It did.
But I think, even the same thing, foreshadowing for later, this is the third, I want to say, forgive me if I'm wrong if there's more, but of the 6 matches, 3 were immediate main event, or immediate rematches from WrestleMania, where the match here was better than the match was at Mania.
There were 4 WrestleMania rematches.
That what confused me, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
so
4 of them, yep.
That means that WrestleMania Backlash would have been a better WrestleMania. And WrestleMania was fantastic. So while we're getting around that,
also at the same time, you got some of these people who are familiarizing themselves with each other, so they know each other's tendencies. So these matches should, in theory, be better. So, in theory,
because you can't run nowadays. At least you can't run house shows with those matches running before WrestleMania. Otherwise, you're going to get all the same garbage over people are going to talk about it.
Though. Because, just because of that, we got screwed at a Hogan versus Flair at WrestleMania 8 because they ran that match at house shows beforehand. If they had to do Hogan and Flair at Mania 8 and then run the match at house shows after the fact, it wouldn't have mattered if it was a shitty match because it would have already had their huge buy rate, right?
Yep. Omos versus Brock Lesnar. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Kent gave this 2 stars. Chip.
It was a good match, but I wasn't 100% invested as I was in their first match in the build-up. The MVP thing is what I'm going to... He played his normal villain role and, of course, caused Omos to get the win. So I'll give it 2.5. I'll give it 2.25.
Sleazy.
I don't remember. I was getting nachos.
You
were eating nachos.
I got them.
You got them, and then he sat down, and then you were eating them. You missed the whole Madcap Corbin match.
Yes, for a different reason.
Omos and Lashley, better, again, every match, better than their Mania match. Anybody that expected a lot out of this, even after watching their Mania match, was just delusional. It's 2 big, beefy men just being beefy men against each other. Omos, to me, I can slowly see what all these people are talking about Omos saying that kid's going to be money. Because he's getting a little better in the ring, and it's obviously going to take time, but you could see his progressions there, being with AJ. Now he's got a mouthpiece with MVP, and he's fighting somebody like Lashley, who's been the big guy so many times, who can help mold and push and do this and do that. And I really think that come this time next year, you're going to be talking about Omos as, oh, well, he's going to be a world champion within the next 12 months.
Nigerian giant.
I sat, well, nice reference. I think I said to Fat Man there is that someday he's going to be a significant attraction for sure. But you know, he's got the right people helping him through matches. He's it's being well done that they're accentuating his positives without showing too much of his greenness. But at the end of the day, he still needs work. But I mean, that's not a bad thing.
I was going to say the age-old adjective is you never stop learning, especially in wrestling.
Right.
So, like, even AJ Styles is still learning.
Yeah.
Even Lashley's still learning. Even Roman Reigns is still learning. So, like, yeah, I get that. It's not a detriment that he can still advance and learn because it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah. He's got the size, and he's got the attitude.
He's got the look.
This is going to be an 80s and 90s retro podcast by the end of this episode.
So, one way to knock some of that greenness off is for him to keep working. So, I mean, yes, this is the second match in a row where like WWE's actually doing something good booking wise. Like they put him with them
matches into the premium live event, and you're already like possible chubby for how good the booking is.
Well, they put him with the mouthpiece because he's not a good talker because he's still green. They put him with MVP and Lashley, who will help him because he's still green. Like, they're doing everything right. And the right kid died. And this match was better than the WrestleMania match, but it was still only an okay match for a house show. Actually, this match came across worse on TV than it did live. It seemed better live than it did on TV when I rewatched it. So, but it was an okay match for a house show.
I mean, considering what spoiler the other matches are, the fact that that's 2.5 stars says a lot.
Yeah, the fact that and realistically, when you look at this card, that's the worst match on this card. That match was still pretty okay. Like,
yeah. AJ Styles versus Edge. 16 minutes and 35 seconds. Ken gave this 3.5. I hated
how to start this off.
Hated the finish of this match. It was worse than the WrestleMania finish.
We described what was going to happen in the preview. We knew what was going to happen.
That's not what I'm talking about. Damian Priest is bad for ringside, shows up at ringside, no consequences.
He did not, sir. He didn't cross that fucking line in the ringside.
Yes, he did. He was ending up in that ring.
Finn Balor pushed him.
It do not matter. He was at ringside. That should have ended in a DQ. Lawyered. That ending was... They could have done
You're
that.
tongue twisted because you don't know what you're saying.
I know what I'm saying. You're a fucking mark. Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Why put that stipulation in if you're still just going to say fuck it? That's my problem with it. That's my problem with it. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
They could have easily done, again, 10,000 different fucking finishes that would have debuted Rhea Ripley. But again, they chose the one thing that they based their stipulation off on. Just an don't matter. That match... And the match was just another lackluster match between them. To me, it was still a good match, but these guys could have so much better matches.
Good match, 2 stars.
No, 3. No, that's sleazy. That's sleazy. Yeah. That's this fucker up here. No, but it was 3 stars, but it was like 3 stars. Like, it was good. It was solid. The ending was stupid. And I don't know.
I don't think the ending was stupid. Like, I get that it was banned from ringside, and then they do the whole look. I'm not crossing the ring. Like, you know what I mean?
I actually didn't mind. But yes, I know Balor put him over. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. He was at ringside.
I understand, but in that logic, you saying, I get that this is why they were allowed to get away with it.
But at the same time, but it still doesn't make sense. I get their thinking on it.
If you get it, it does make sense. This is what I'm trying to say to you. If you're like, this don't make sense, but it works, but it don't make sense, then it
didn't work. I said I understand what they were trying to do. That doesn't mean it was fucking good or made sense. I understood it. I understood why they were trying to get around it, but in my mind, it's like,
they didn't try to get around it. They got around it.
They didn't get around it because he was at ringside. So it doesn't matter.
Damian Priest did not do it of his own volition, which is why they got around it.
Don't matter. Still dumb. Still dumb. They could have had like Balor attack him in the aisleway. That would have made much more sense to me than, I'm just going to push him in there. That would have made more sense.
I don't normally agree with Fat Man on this, but in this case I do. If he had just showed up on the stage rather than gone almost all the way to ringside.
But not ringside. Almost
it is ringside.
Is not.
It is ringside.
It's ringside. That's the thing, is that if I get ejected from ringside, I go to the back. I don't sit in the aisle.
Because you and part of Judgment Day and smart enough to know ringside stops in that little fucking box.
So everybody in the history of professional wrestling,
wait a second.
Everybody in the history of professional wrestling is stupid, but Damian Priest.
No,
yes.
no.
You're trying to justify something stupid.
No,
I'm gonna double down on this shit. Yes.
Whoa.
Because you like it. That's why. Figure out something wrong. It was bad. It was bad. It made no sense.
But the reason because bad isn't bad. Like, you're like, well, he was bad from ringside. He never came to ringside. Well, he got in the ring. Balor's the one that fucking pushed him.
Don't matter.
You know what I mean?
He's still at ringside then. If Balor pushed him in. If he was close enough to ringside, quote unquote, to be pushed in, he was at ringside.
If I jump into a mountain, I jump into a mountain. If you push me into a mountain, I don't jump into a fucking mountain. You pushed me.
Not my fault you jumped.
This is where you're an idiot. See?
You jumped. You were jumping in the ring. You wanted to jump. I just pushed you.
There's your problem. That's why.
Not my problem. You're trying to justify something that's stupid. I know you like everything, and you're this happy-go-lucky, happy Canadian, but that was stupid.
Wow.
It's not that I do like a lot of things. It's not that I like everything or not. I know that I can logically explain it.
Wow.
But it's not logically.
It's a different logic. And Undead Wizard, we live in a different set of rules for logic in professional wrestling, boys. Sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. Like,
the rules are specific when it comes to ringside. When you're not supposed to be at ringside, you are in back behind the curtain. And that is according to the rules of professional wrestling.
How many people have been banned from ringside and were sat in the crowd? You know what I mean? You're banned at ringside. Oh, we bought a ticket because we're outside that fucking square. It's allowed.
But he didn't buy a ticket.
He didn't. He stayed outside that square, though.
No, it's not part of the square. It's the fact that
he stayed outside the square willingly until Finn Balor decided to oopsie doodle him. Like,
it's the area of the ring, which includes the aisle. There is not.
It's because your aisle was this fucking big in Canada, bro. Don't mean anything, okay?
He's not wrong.
So come on.
It's funny when you thought we had an aisle. We came out of the back like.
Well, here's the thing, and I also want to point out something that Ryan said earlier. This was the only match out of the entire card of the rematches where their WrestleMania match was better, I thought. And that's not saying much because the WrestleMania match wasn't that good. So I thought this
the
was
WrestleMania match, I really, really, truly believe that, myself included, that all of us that said that that match wasn't good had hyped that match up in our heads to a point that it was not going to be able to reach.
Yeah,
Because of it's fucking Edge and it's AJ Styles. And we've been fans of these two people for a long time, and you know the quality they produce. And just as the 6-man later that I put no brain effort into it, AJ and Edge, I overthought. I was like, I can't wait. Like, they're so good. They're great at stories. They're great at this. They're great at that. And both times I've hyped that match up in my head of it should have been, it was better in my head. But I guess for me in real life, I still did enjoy the two matches in real life. But I thought and could see they could have been way better.
All right, Chip, you're a mark. Talk about it. You're on mute.
yeah.
Wait.
Oh, Chip, read the chat.
Anyways, what I was going to say is I'm going to be the the non-wrestling wrestler and be an actual fan here. And
Yeah, we lost Chip.
I got you. Sorry. Anyway, the way I was, so I see your all's point about the rules, yada yada yada. From a fan point, he got, and the way a fan would look at this is that if he gets pushed into that apron while he is not, while it's not his fault, that rule right there should be gotten rid of and taken away, and all should be fair. But that also created a diversion to where everyone was worried about what was going on in the ring and outside of the ring, that way Rhea Ripley could appear and not be noticeable. And on top of that, we are all right. We hyped this matchup in our heads way too much because they're both credible wrestlers for a long time, Hall of Fame style careers, and it's never going to be able to be repeated, or it's never going to reach. Now, if they were younger and going at each other at a younger age, it would have been amazing in many times over again. But with the way, this isn't about AJ and Edge either. This is about progressing the unholy union. And that was all about. And to me, this furthered along that storyline perfectly. Yes, rules were broken. Rules were broken every day in any wrestling match. Simple as that.
So I think, and for me, my issue towards the 2E, I think it's how you worded it. Had you have said that was more convoluted than it needed to be, I can see how people could see that it'd be convoluted. But I just don't see how it was bad. Convoluted, yes. Bad, no.
Because they made a stipulation and they're just like,
Well, okay, so we'll go back and forth and fighting on the point. This is what I mean. Like, something's not bad. I would agree and say, I would agree that you could say convoluted, not a problem. But I don't see how it was bad because it hit all the points. It did what it needed to do.
but it could have been done without the stipulation. So why do the stipulation?
So you mean it was too convoluted?
No, it wasn't. And what Chip even said, it made the point for it was distraction for Rhea Ripley. So would of an attack in the aisleway.
So would have Damian Priest not coming out at all in a ref bump is what I'm saying. Like the convoluted part.
So now you're agreeing with me that they could have done 10,000 different things.
Clean out your fucking ears and listen. I'm not agreeing. No,
they made a stipulation and then they said, fuck it. That's what they did. Admit it. They had a stipulation and then they said, fuck it.
They had a stipulation and found a cheeky way around it. You can't see it for some reason.
I can't see it because it was stupid. It was dumb.
Here's the reality of it. They wanted to further along the tag match there. That's basically happening with Finn Balor.
Oh, so there was
they could have done with an attack in the aisleway.
I'm not saying they couldn't. I'm agreeing with you, asshole.
I know. I'm just reiterating my point to a high motherfucker.
High or not, I'm not wrong.
You are wrong. You are 100% wrong. You're from Canada. You're wrong.
Right.
Anyway. Rhea Ripley is a good addition. We all know she's going to be there, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I Quit match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defends against Rhea Ripley, Jesus Christ. Ronda Rousey. 16 minutes
right?
of same person, same letter, same guy, same freaking guy. 16 minutes and 35 seconds. Cannon gave this 3 3/4. Sleazy, you're the one who's wrestling Sleazy.
Why do you give me this stuff?
Because you're the woman's wrestling fucking enthusiast.
I'm torn on this because functionally as a match, it was good. There's a lot of good spots in it. There are a lot of interesting techniques. There were some callbacks to other Charlotte matches even.
We have lost a Mark.
We've lost Mark completely. Oh well.
That's good. He's a piece of shit anyway.
Wow. But my problem, I'm going to say this once again because I didn't rewatch this, but coming across live, I didn't like it. Functionally, it was good, but I just felt like it didn't matter to me. Maybe that's kind of strange to say it that way, but it's the truth.
Oh God, there's a Mark. Mark's back, as you can all hear from this windy, cloudiness.
On location. This is
All right, guys. I'm out. We're trying to do 2 things at once. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Listen, I will appreciate the dedication of our on fucking air reporter. On field, he does the work. Now that that's out of the way, you're still a fucking idiot about that match.
You're fucking not. You're talking Chip. If Chip agrees with you, you know you're wrong.
You mean the guy who WWE would like to have as a fan because he actually buys into the storylines? Yeah. I mean, like,
he's a fucking Mark.
we're all fucking Marks, idiot. Are we watching professional wrestling? Yeah, you're a Mark.
I will definitely talk about that a little bit more from the live perspective a little bit later. But holy hell, there are a lot of Marks.
Buzz, if at any point you watch professional wrestling, good, bad, or indifferent, you're a Mark. When you find out professional wrestling is staged and choreographed and all that stuff.
Wait, what?
Guess what? You're still a fucking Mark. Like, we're all Mark. And that's what I don't like, because we are all Marks. People use it as a bad term or try to use it as an insult. That's the whole point of this.
There's no try.
They use it as an insult. But, like, we call Chip Mark because there's got to be 8 A's there. It's a term of endearment for Chip. It is. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
at the end of the day, and we've had this discussion before, at the end of the day, we are all Marks. We all love the business. We wouldn't be doing this podcast for 10 goddamn years if we didn't love it so much. Nearly 10. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary.
9.5.
Yeah, we're putting it over hard here. But I think the reality of all of this. Okay, well, thank goodness this is an audio podcast.
there's a reason. We all got faces for radio. You know this.
You're darn tootin'. I think the reality of it is that we're coming up.
Radio shit. I got a face for fucking. What the fuck's that thing we had to hand crank?
Newspaper.
Porn?
No.
I completely lost my train of thought.
Phonograph? Okay, but let's get back on. So
the women's
Mr.
match.
I won't rewatch something because I likes to watch it live.
Right.
What was the live perspective?
The live perspective is I didn't like it because it felt like that those types of matches don't come across as well live when they go around the building a little bit. And also it may have come up better on TV, but you couldn't hear anything that was said in the ring, especially when they were trying to talk into the mic.
Yep. Yeah, you couldn't hear. I didn't even hear her say I quit. And even on TV, you barely heard it. That match was better on TV than it was live.
That's because Charlotte didn't want you to fucking hear it. That's why she whispered it. Come on, this is fucking Charlotte.
She's like, put her over, fuck her.
Right?
But yeah, it was a little hard to like not pay attention. The follow, I would say, because they went to the crowd and stuff live. But I thought it was still a fun atmosphere. I gave this 3.5. Better than the WrestleMania match. It was really good. That's really all I can say. Like, everyone knew Ronda was going to win, predictable, but predictable isn't always bad.
The only thing I would have changed about this match isn't even a match. I would have had Ronda win at Mania, and the build of this was because Charlotte was going away anyways.
Right.
So I would have had Ronda win at Mania, and you can still do pretty much the same build, the same promos and feud. You change a word or two here, but like Ronda should have had one at Mania and should have won here. And this is the match they wanted for Mania 35, and then Becky Lynch decided she was going to be a superstar.
How dare her?
Right?
How dare her get over?
Blame?
Nia Jax?
Yep. Blame Nia Jax for all of that.
Okay. Madcap Moss versus Happy Corbin. 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Ken gave this 2.25.
That's all?
Yep, that's all. 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Sleazy was taking a shit, so...
I figured I'd just run quick to the bathroom because as soon as the Ronda match was over, I was like, okay, I'm going. Maybe I can beat the rush. Nope, there's lions around the building. So I ended up spending the entire time of this match trying to get into the bathroom.
Literally, he came back as Madcap Moss's music was playing.
Yeah.
At the end.
Way, way better than this deserved to be. And the fact that it was only like 8 minutes, that's what blew me away because this was deadly. Like, I enjoyed the fuck out of this match.
It was an okay match for a house show. It was another match that was like, the crowd was kind of dead for it live, but it was better live.
In the dead spot, by the way.
Yeah.
Better live than it was on TV, even though the crowd was dead for it. It was weird. Like, normally when I go to a pay-per-view or premium live event, whatever the fuck it is, and I rewatch it, normally the matches come across better on TV. It was a mixture this time. Like, some of them were absolutely great both ways. Some of them were better live, some were better on TV, but this one just came across better live than it did on TV. And now I know why Sleazy doesn't rewatch it, because I was like, oh man, that match seemed way better.
But in the same breath, though, Sleazy doesn't. There's matches you rewatch, man. This is way better live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it does happen.
So, yeah. All right, the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. I
want to hear about Sleazy talking about the match. There was like lines where he had to wait in. I want to hear who he was talking to about other people. Like,
yeah.
So Sleazy, you're as on-field reporting. How did that 15 minutes go?
Pretty terrible for one. There was no toilet paper in the bathroom. There was no paper towels in the bathroom either. So when it was all said and done, I washed my hands and I had wet hands. So I had to go to the nearest place to get napkins to dry my hands off. And, well, guess what?
There were no napkins.
For the best.
What'd you use to wipe? Gross.
Right?
All right, main event.
I wanted to know.
I already talked about 22 minutes, 20 seconds. Ken gave this 4.25.
Undulating piece of shit.
This was the most house showy main event ever.
This was so good.
Listen, but this was fucking great.
So
there were stuff that they were doing off camera that the camera didn't catch. That's why I call it house showy, because like fucking around with fans and stuff like that at house shows, they were doing that and it wasn't caught on camera. Mm-hmm. So like the Reigns was doing it the whole fucking match. Like,
he's so good. So good.
And Orton was doing it too. Like it was. That's why I said it was so house showy. And with Reigns pinning Riddle, that's a house show ending. Like, I'm just like, But it was great. 4.5 stars. Fucking absolutely phenomenal.
What was
Fucking.
it missing?
What was it missing?
4.5.
Wrong kid died. That's what it was missing. Wrong kid died.
It should have been Orton.
It should have been McIntyre.
No.
Died?
No.
Yes.
If it was McIntyre
Winning.
when that match started, they should have called an audible when they heard the crowd popping for Orton.
Oh, yeah. Orton was over 100%.
Hell.
Oh my god! Like just that coming, like I'm still like that whole match was like it was hyped and it was good and there was so much fucking intertwined and everything and it seemed like on TV the crowd was eating up every.
Oh, it was.
single
We were.
fucking
They
thing.
were. They were. Yeah.
We were.
Yeah.
Randy Orton is top 5 all time. All time.
Reigns could have taken that RKO better though, but
I want to point out.
That's why it's not 5 stars.
that's why it's not 5 stars. It was a house show. He didn't want to take the bump.
Actually, Reigns took 2 finishers in this match.
Yes, he did. He took a Claymore and an RKO.
I echo Fat Man's statement. You know, live it was phenomenal. It was probably one of the best, if not the best, house show matches I would have ever seen. You know, I mean, it is you know exactly what I'm talking about. So
Yeah, no.
So House Show Mania as a whole was good for you.
I thought it was great.
So Sleazy and I were talking about this on the way back together for the two of us. Seeing pay-per-views together, this is probably the best one that we've been to together.
Yeah, without
Like
question.
we've been to historical ones that have actually been trash, but quality-wise, this has been the best one we've been to together.
Yeah, match.
I mean,
for match.
WrestleMania 23 is the best one I've been to, but he wasn't with me. So together, this is the best show that we've been to.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 29 was the best show that we've all been together.
That's true.
That is true.
No, it's not. It's not the best show that we've been to.
No, it's not. That's right.
Super
Jay
Grand
Briscoe is never going to win the ROH World title.
That was a better show.
What kills me about that moment every time is saying it, and everybody basically looking at me going, man, you're definitely right. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you just got up and left.
Right?
Fuck it. Oh, I was poisoned at that point. I was also 4 days into a trip, hadn't smoked a draw in days, and Bud, you caught me and Bud's fall out. Like,
let's take a quick break. We will be back to actually talk a little bit more about the entirety of the pay-per-view and our live thoughts. So we'll be back after this. And we're back. So so Ryan, obviously you watched it live on that big
on
thing
the
they call
picture,
WWE gimmick thing. I was going to say Peacock, but it's not Peacock.
Not in Canada. No, I still get the real WWE network too, but I go to WWE's website because I have to sign in for my cable provider and not the to get the WWE network. So I get WWE's WWE network. I don't get the Peacock version.
I hate you for that, by the way.
Sure, yeah, fair enough. But that to me, I love the fact if you guys have cable down there and you can get this as just a channel like the WWE network. I don't know how that works. That's how we got it up here, and everybody else that wants to pirate it and shit like that, they're idiots. Because I get all the stuff that they're pirating for the same cost, maybe $1 or $2 more, and I get it as just a channel. And that shit replays all the time. There's so much shit I can watch as a regular TV channel. Like, it was great.
And this is why I hate you for this. Peacock's always been terrible. It's gotten a little bit better, but still, there's constant times where it'll freeze, it'll buffer.
I haven't had that problem. Like on my computer, because I have like a 11-year-old computer. It will freeze. Like during live events, but like on my Roku, on my PlayStation 5, it runs.
I've had
perfect.
problems with it with multiple different operating systems, multiple different pieces on my phone, on the Google TV, on Roku. I've had problems constantly.
Oh yeah, tablet and phone's been fine too. So I'm not.
So I don't know what to tell you.
Fucking knife deeper, dickhead.
Well,
Oh yeah, I'm definitely do. I
Yeah.
definitely am.
he's a dick. It's
I am.
fine.
I am.
I still have better internet than you, though. So there.
Not right now. You don't.
Which makes even less sense than why you have all those issues.
Right? It's fiber internet.
Yeah.
So, and yet I
You hear me? Here I go. Right now you don't.
Well, yeah, right now I don't, but at in my normal residence I do. So, yeah, right. So let's. So, what was your take on it from the television version, Ryan?
So, like, for me, and again, Fed show. Let's get this out of the way.
It's called a shed fill now
Yeah, no.
because I mispronounced it at the show, so that I'm getting it over.
Shed Phil?
Shed fill.
No, I'm
Shed
a Shed Phil. I never saw a down point during this pay-per-view. So how do I say this wasn't one of the best pay-per-views I ever saw? It was 6 matches. To me, all the matches were pretty good, if not fucking amazing. Logically, if you break it down that way, like, this is one of the best pay-per-views WWE's ever had, ever. Wrestling-wise, storyline-wise, winner-wise, like...
But if you listen to the people on the internet, it was terrible.
You know what this reminds me of? This show reminds me of in general.
Or should I?
Being on the internet? Yeah, no.
Oh no, this show. No, wow, this show reminds me of the heyday of NXT. 6 or 7 matches, pulled pretty tight. Everything's at least average or better.
Yeah.
For a show that we reviewed and basically we're going in saying none of this really matters. Every match, every person, either they wins or loses, doesn't matter, doesn't hurt anybody, and it's just a generic, random, throwaway pay-per-view.
We did say that this could be, quality-wise, a really good show.
I
We did
feel
say that.
dirty what I'm about to say because it feels weird to say it. This is WWE's pay-per-view of the year right now. Better than Mania. And I don't know if it's because it's fresh or not, but again, when I break everything down in my head, and that match was great. That match was all right. That match was great. That match was great. That match was better than what it was supposed to be. That match was great. What would you rank that as a pay-per-view?
Great.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Right? Like,
No.
there's no pre-match show to take it down any shitty amount. Like,
And here's the thing: the crowd was hot for the pre-show.
And you know what I realized? This show was really, really good. And there was a couple of things made it why. But there were no Asians, and that's why it was good.
before you get me yours, because I just remembered I can do this now, and I like to steal a part of the show every week to do this.
Yeah.
We had our scorecard. We actually had 2 scorecards this weekend. We'll talk about the other one next weekend because fuck Ryan. So when the first match happened on the scorecard, Sleazy was first. And I don't think he saw top 5 after that.
Right?
Our top 5 in overall, Al Barrett finished with 81, Faraday finished 76, Dietz and myself finished with 70, and my brother Chris finished with 69 in terms of how the wrestling show went. It went Dietz, me, Chip had 66, Batman had 62, and Sleazy had 55. So Dietz is the current TWS WWE champion for the wrestling show side of it.
I'm the fucking Brooklyn Brawler of the wrestling show.
This is why I want to wait, because I remember looking at the app that day, and right before I hit submit on the picks, the final time I started and went, I changed Baron Corbin to Madcap. I changed AJ to Edge, and I debated changing RK Bro to the Bloodline, and I started and went, nah, that one's still going to happen. And if I fucking had to change it.
Yeah, that scorecard, I was just being a mark. Like, I was just being like, Seth's going to win. Fucking Drew's going to pin Roman. Like, I think only gained like 4 points the last fucking match. Like, but no, like, and that one, and we talked about it off air, that only messed with me one time, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was like a point or something.
Well, look at it this way now, just by because I'm looking at your specific scorecard here now and how the points broke down. Until that 6-man, you were right at the end because you might have had your mark answers, but where these scorecards are so cool, you were nailing match time. You were nailing how much this was going to be. You might not have got the winners, but you were nailing all the little things that were keeping you competitively in the scorecard.
Yeah, and they can matter a lot in terms of points. I mean, the actual match result is maybe 5 points, but this piece is 3 points. This piece is 3 points. This piece is 3 points. So you can make a ton of points up, even though you're not making the correct decisions on the actual match results.
Yeah, out of a possible 27 points in the main event, you pulled 6.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to be. You knew it was going to be pinned. You knew it was going to be broke up a bunch of times, and nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah. So, from a live perspective, and I'll start with this. So, obviously, Fat Man alluded to this. Oh no, actually, he didn't allude to this on air. The past week, it was Fat Man's birthday. So part of the reason why we did this together was it was his birthday weekend. So we decided to do, Providence, whatnot. We went to see the Red Sox
lose,
humiliated by
it. Wasn't humiliated. It was 3-1.
Oh, it was a humiliation because we were up. You were up.
I tell you though, when Hans Robles came in, I said we just lost.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Our worst
fucking picture. That's
a reverse sleazy.
Yeah, right? So Fat Man, how should I put this? Both of us froze our asses off worse than we did in Yankee Stadium. And I think we told the Yankee Stadium story before.
So, first pitch, it was 49 degrees. But that wind was whipping about 25, 30 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. With wind chill, it was probably 35 degrees.
Now, keep in mind, both this
What's
time...
that Canadian?
Look it up.
No, that's what I asked.
6 degrees? I don't fucking know.
6 degrees for a deadly day.
It was like 10.
I don't know. It was like I don't know the fucking metrics are up in fucking bizarro world.
Yeah, it was cold. It was cold and it got worse.
Yes.
But this time we learned our lesson. Well, most of us did. We bought heavy jackets and everything, and it was still so cold.
So I had a hoodie on. I bought this hat, and I bought another jacket to put over my hoodie to put my hood on that. By the 8th inning, I was like, yeah, it's cold.
Shivering. It was so bad that Mr. Baseball over here, the will never leave a game no matter what happens. When that thing went into extra innings after all that garbage, we left. And that's how cold it was.
I took a piss, and then Sleazy starts laughing. I go, "What? Like they already scored?"
Yeah,
I was like,
"Oh, okay, 3-1." I'm like, "Really?
Game over. So the curse still lives. Haven't seen the Red Sox win live, so
yeah. So
hopefully I'll break that in August when we play a shit team.
You hope
we'll lose.
But yeah, that was a really nice time, and going around Boston in general was pretty nice. Fat Man got to actually eat some Asian food, which was
I did. I ate on an Asian.
Yep. That was a lot of fun. We watched, we enjoyed, we laughed, we cried a little bit.
Korean barbecue.
Yeah. It was Korean fried chicken. Which is,
it had BBQ on it.
Right. BBQ. So if you guys are familiar with BBQ chicken, that's the Korean fried chicken chain that's in the US, but there's like a few of them around here, and one of them is in Boston. And but yeah, we went around there. That was a lot of fun. Fat Man actually lost $1 because
I'm a mark
he was being a mark for sugar for one. We lost. We took a bet on if I could find something that wasn't made of sugar in the
yeah.
sugar store.
In the sugar store, and it was
it's merchandise.
I didn't realize they had merch. I didn't know they had merch. So and Steve's like, "Well, I was here 2 weeks ago." I'm like, "You fucking cool." I mean, not cooler. You fuck. What the fuck is it called? Hustler.
I was a hustler. Yeah, I was a hustler, baby. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So we got to the show itself. And we did Double or Nothing for the opening match,
which I knew I was going to lose.
Yeah. And then you were like, okay, Double or Nothing again for the result of the match.
Which I knew I was going to lose.
But you can't take away from me the fact that you lost 3 bets over the course of the weekend, which is absolutely unheard of for me.
One of them was a hustle.
Yes.
So that's not...
And the other 2 you got
dumb
bets.
We're not going to talk about how we were stayed in Providence and we spent most of our time in Boston.
Yeah.
We drove back up to Boston Sunday.
Yeah, we ended up driving back up to Boston for Sunday, and we went to Revere Beach and had some really good food there as well.
Oh my God, that was
I was going to let you go through that part.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the show itself was great. I actually did an Airbnb, and obviously I'm still there for that. But the Airbnb here has been awesome. The our hosts here have been great. The actual Airbnb was 6 minutes away from the venue, so we went from literally out of the venue. It took us longer to walk to the car than it was to drive back here. That's how close it was. We almost walked it. It was a mile and a half away.
Thank God, because I got beer spilled all over my fucking coat, and I was freezing.
Yeah, he would have froze again. So, so Fat Man, go ahead.
Well, Sunday we did the Providence River Walk, which was again windy and cold because we're dumb, and then Sleazy's all like, or he said to us before we were going to go on the trip that he's going to go to some seafood place. I don't remember what it was called. And then he's like, maybe we should call it. It was like 11 o'clock. He's like, maybe we should call ahead because it was Mother's Day. So he calls ahead, and they weren't taking reservations, which is dumb. And they had a limited menu.
Yeah, and they didn't do takeout either.
And they did. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the big thing because we were going to do takeout there, and they weren't going to do takeout. And then Michelle, I think, was all like, or was you one of you were all like, well, we can always go up to that seafood place on Revere Beach. And then of course Sleazy goes, yep, we were in Boston yesterday. We planned this great. Let's go back up there. So we drove. I think it was like an hour and 15 with traffic to go back up there. And that, what was it? Kelly's
roast beef. It's
roast beef, which is weird because they have more than roast beef. They had a fried scallop plate, and you put scallops in front of me, I'll just fucking devour them.
Right.
Absolutely delicious. Their fries were a little undercooked, so were their onion rings, but it was because they were busy. But their scallops were not undercooked. They were freaking awesome. Sleazy let me try some lobster roll for the first time. That was amazing. Thank you for everything you did in that weekend. I really do appreciate it.
It's nothing. I'm just glad you had a good time.
I did. I did have a really good time. The event Backlash, we thought were going to be good, was way better than expected. Obviously, the Red Sox didn't lose and was freezing, but it's always Fenway. Sleazy will never go back, but of course I will. And I just love the city of Boston. Oh, we went to Quincy Market too.
Oh yeah, we walked through Quincy Market. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. And they had a lot of great smelling food too, but they were packed.
It's tight.
So
cool.
Yeah. It was a great trip.
Do we have any news and rumors to end this on?
I do, but you know what? I'm just going to go through some big ones and hold off on the littler ones.
Okay.
Only because I know we're running kind of short on time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make Sleazy laugh.
That's a good way of ending this show.
So your I gotta find it. Your best friend Vince Russo.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A couple months ago, I was offered to help as a consultant, bro. I don't want to be hired. I'm never going to work in that environment at WWE. I never want to work again in WWE. But I was like, that first bro I put in here, but these I didn't. I was like, bro, your show freaking sucks. Seriously, are you watching it? He's apparently what he's saying to Vince McMahon. He had a conversation with McMahon. It was that conversation all over again. How that ended was Vince wanted me to watch Raw for a couple of weeks to get my feedback. I was like, bro, really said that. I'll be happy to do it. I ain't doing that for free. Your product sucks, bro. I'm willing to help you. I'm not going to jump through hoops to help you. If you want to pay me to critique the show for the next couple of months, I'll be happy to do it. But I certainly was not going to do it for free because the product is horrible. I was looking to help the guy because the product is horrible. Okay, so what?
Did he say this on his podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So he was offering, so he says he's not going to watch for free because the product sucks, but he's watching it
for free.
For free anyway, but he's not going to tell Vince what he thinks about it, even though he told him it sucks, without getting paid.
Well, here's the thing.
But then he's like, I'm just trying to help the guy because the product is horrible, but he won't help him unless he gets paid, but yet he's watching it for free anyway and just told him it sucks.
Well, not only that, doesn't he kind of review the show every now and again, too, on the podcast?
I don't know. I don't want to listen to the podcast, but
I think he does. Ben Hameen, reel in your boy. What the fuck?
There's no way Jay Briscoe's winning the ROH World title, as there's no way he had a conversation with Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Zero chance.
Ryan's just sitting there on his phone, being Ryan.
He don't care about this. And
okay,
I don't blame him.
Updated.
Look at you. If this was a video podcast, you can fucking see him. His hands right in his face. He's leaning over, like slapping himself, trying to keep himself awake. Ryan don't care.
Oh, it's just. I get headaches when this happens. You know, it's stupidity on a whole nother level.
Oh, you want stupidity, do you? So the scorecards just, have cut a deal with some indie feds. And the first deal they got cut with is PCW Ultra. So when you go look at the scorecard and pick one of the matches contains a wrestler whose name is Rob Shit.
Wow.
The main event of the card is Kazarni, or Sin Body now, versus LA Park, La Parka from WCW.
So it must be Southeast, because I don't think Sin goes all that far away from Vegas anymore.
No, not Mom. I've heard him come up my way in Canada a couple of times.
And somebody must have paid him a good amount then.
Why the fuck else would you come to Canada?
Right?
Oh, sorry. So update on.
Oh, Sammy on his phone there. You fuck.
We're trying to be all-inclusive here.
This is update for Big E. My C1 apparently isn't healing optimally. I'll spend another 4 to 6 weeks in a brace in hopes I can avoid a fusion surgery. But don't you fret. I got a tremendous supporting system, and what shall be shall be.
I'm going to say this again. I will be shocked if he works another match.
Me too.
I mean, Edge came back. Yoshitatsu came back. I don't think he's coming back. I say not coming back as
wrestling.
As an active performer. He'd absolutely kill it as a manager, as a backstage commentator, announcer, anything. He's got a love for the business that's right up there with some of the best. And it's unfortunate he got hurt the way he got hurt, but there will always be a spot in WWE for him, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Because WWE is such a foundering company. Here's some first quarter news from them.
Oh, God.
Earned to shareholders totaled $38.9 million, including shares repurchased and dividends paid. Announced a multi-year extension of the company's original programming partnership with A&E that includes more than 130 hours of premium WWE specials. I thought these were numbers. Apparently, I didn't read all that. It's just pretty much. They made 300 and
the big number.
39 million, I think, or something like that.
35 million.
Yeah, it was close though.
We talked about it, yeah.
And that was 9 million more than what was estimated.
Yeah.
And then also Wrestlemania had 156,352 people over both nights. It was the highest grossing and most attended event in company history collectively. WWE was most viewed. WrestleMania's most viewed live event all time. Global unique viewership increased 54%. Domestic increased 61% year over year. WrestleMania was the second most watched event on Peacock besides the Super Bowl this year. WrestleMania generated 2.2 billion social media impressions, more than 1.8 billion impressions generated by more than Super Bowl 56. WrestleMania viewership in India was a record 56.1 million, a 26% increase.
Question.
Answer.
Where can they go in the United States that they can properly sit 100,000 people?
AT&T Stadium.
Is that the only place?
I think that's it now.
Maybe SoFi Stadium. I think it is expandable to over 100,000. And that's about it. I think.
Let me check. Well, you guys,
because I know, I think they want. I think don't quote me on that.
About you thinking, never.
Listen here, Canada.
But seriously, though, if you can get on where they go for WrestleMania, realistically, because you'd say Mania, because that's where you're going to get your biggest haul of people. The fact that they can put off a WrestleMania and logically say they had over 200,000 fans for WrestleMania weekend because you get 100,000 each night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How many places did they run to say that's where they'd run to do that?
Not in the U.S. I mean, there's literally only 2 places in the U.S. that can do it, and maybe 5 or 6 venues outside.
Where are the 5 or 6 outside?
The Melbourne Cricket Grounds.
Yeah, that's one. There's a couple of soccer stadiums.
Maybe Wembley.
The one in not the Tokyo Dome, but there's another huge venue near Tokyo that they could do it in. That I'm blanking on. Then there's one in India.
Maybe Beijing.
And yeah, I can't believe I'm blanking on these, but there's like 3 of them that are soccer stadiums.
Oh yeah.
So currently, it can hold 70,240 for a football game, but if you do a major event, it can hold 100,000.
That's what I thought. Expandable to 100,000.
Yeah, 100,240 according to them.
So WWE's estimated revenue for the next quarter, target revenue, is 360 to 375 million. That's what they're looking to get next quarter.
With the sheer number of people,
it said depending on ticket sales.
Yeah, well, the sheer number of people holding WWE replica titles while we were going to that pay-per-view is so high that I'm sure they'll hit it. Holy crap! Maybe every 3rd or 4th person we saw had a replica title.
Yep.
And you know how much they are. They're not cheap. So
there was one guy sitting behind us that had 2.
Yeah.
I mean, Mania 29 weekend, I dropped $350 American on the IC title.
Yeah.
And that's the IC title.
Well, it's the same price for all of them.
Is it?
Yeah.
Back then there was a bit of a difference. Like I could have got that or the $1 million title for $350. The World Heavyweight title was only $300.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know how that went about.
Maybe cheaper to make.
It might
I'm
have
not
been.
sure.
Nowadays, they're all the same price. They're $5.50.
Sleazy, remember how we talked about the Royal Rumbles, the big one we haven't gone to?
Yep. No one cares
Probably have
about
to-
Survivor Series.
No, we're probably gonna have to wait on that. The Alamo Dome in San Antonio is a front runner to host WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble.
Yeah. There's more. Yeah.
Actually, I could probably blow through these. Roman Reigns is taking a lighter schedule. He's gonna work just less house shows. Charlotte Flair, obviously, we know we're taking time off. There's no plans to unify the tag titles right now. Sunny got arrested May 6th. She's for that fucking killing the guy, but she's been released on
release
after she posted bond. Jonah and Willie Mack have both left. Jonah and Willie Mack have both left Impact.
Already? Jonah left?
Jonah's more NJPW.
Yep.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He was there because he was on loan. A lot of people forgot about that. Like, he was just there on loan.
Yeah.
That's why PCO beat him in the Monsters Ball match.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Kenneth LeRae's WWE contract has expired.
Which shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I figured they were tacking time on.
Yep. I think they're trying to make good with Gargano. That's what but it's probably wrong. AOP is going to be promoting an event in Dubai sometime this year. They didn't have a date.
Cool.
Authors of Pain. Yep. Tony Khan has officially...
Who?
Mike Jones? Who?
Who?
Tony Khan is officially the owner of
Dixie Khan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I forgot the bit. He's officially the owner of ROH, so the sale went through. Assassin and Son is a comic book that was created by Chad Gaspar and Muhammad Hassan, has been picked up for development to make as a movie.
Ooh.
Now, for people who don't know, Muhammad Hassan actually lives up where we live.
Yep. He's a teacher in Syracuse.
Yeah.
Talk about an early example of cancel culture.
Right.
I would agree with that, actually. Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck, he was so hot at the time. Like, they were going to strap the rocket to him and send him to the moon.
They were.
Getting that belt.
Yep.
And then we watched him die live on pay-per-view.
Well, no. Go on.
Sources have indicated the relationship between Yikes and AEW, specifically Kenny Omega, isn't in the best place right now. This is about their video game. Okay. According to those close to the game's development, Omega has found himself frustrated and hating working with Yikes. One person even claims that some of it has come across at times like Yikes was trying to take advantage of an unexperienced Omega in this position. Okay. It was also mentioned that AEW has invested significant money into the game's development, but it is way over budget at this point. Budget issues have reportedly led to features of the game either being less than originally planned or cut altogether. The game's roster size is expected to feature 50 wrestlers at launch, with possible additions as downloadable content.
Okay, let's start with the fact that you're absolutely correct that at least in this day and age now, things will constantly get cut as features because you can add them back in as DLC. So that doesn't really matter. And the fact that it's being reported that that's a problem as news is...
Right.
It's dirt sheets that don't know the video game industry. Second of all, shocker of shocks, right? Well, the dirt sheets don't know wrestling. Why would they know video games, right?
That's why we're better journalists than dirt sheets.
Right, yeah. So to touch on the budget, video games are expensive. That's also not a shocker. That should also not be news. Thirdly, the fact that Kenny Omega is even involved at all from the production side of the video game says very little about the fact that, okay, he's a gamer, so what? He doesn't know the production side of it. Why is he even involved, other than being a game tester and giving input on generic platitudes of what they want as a video game?
So there was one item I skipped over, but I giggled. Was, what does Tony Khan look for when he's signing talent? Nothing. He just signs them anyway. Sorry, Dixie Khan.
Thank you.
Sorry. I got one last thing. Let's both do it. It is about
over this shit.
It's about Sleazy's favorite wrestling promotion, WoW.
Oh, jeez. I heard about this.
AJ Lee is executive producer. WoW announced back in October that they signed a multi-year deal with Viacom CBS for new WoW TV shows to air syndication every weekend on the CW CBS stations beginning this fall. Episodes will begin to tape Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Globe Theater in Los Angeles. In an update, a report says there are allegations of issues surrounding Tessa Blanchard and the company. The WoW relaunch was set to serve as a rehabilitation project for Tessa, who was a former WoW champion. Blanchard was recently deactivated her Twitter, but is still active on Instagram. Who cares? Reportedly had a recent fallout with WoW officials. There's no word if she's still booked for the show's tapings. It was alleged that during a mid-April class, Blanchard cut a promo on Samantha's stage, who was known as Americana. The promo reportedly saw Blanchard tear apart Sage, which led to other trainees speaking up. A source noted that acting classes were then canceled from that point until further notice. At least one trainer was fully told that Blanchard would be less involved with the WoW project moving forward, but that has not been confirmed. It was indicated by other sources that Blanchard is no longer in charge of training talent, and that Selena Majors has been brought back to handle that moving forward. Another anonymous source implied that, of course, Tessa will have to work in Mexico if she wants to work, adding, if you're a fan of Tessa, you better learn Spanish.
Wow.
Funny fucking line. Because it's true.
One former WoW talent says that Tessa has gone from WoW, but that also has not been confirmed. WoW officials are reportedly approached for comment weeks ago, but they did not respond.
Shocker. So, can we just get that triple threat out of the way? Evilise versus Tessa versus Sexy Star down in AAA?
Jesus Christ.
Why don't you like people?
Right?
Wow.
Right?
Okay, so when I spaced out, did you talk about the AEW title rumor thing?
No.
So the rumor that I read through my journalistic skills.
It's okay.
AEW has the trios titles created.
Oh, we talked about that last show, didn't we? Oh, no. Sleazy and I talked about it on the way in the car.
Yeah, they got the trios titles created, and they're waiting for Omega to come back because they want Omega and the Bucks to be part of the tournament.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, they've got more trios teams than anybody else.
You know what, mate? Okay, for future, because I like the fantasy book stuff. If it were me, I would want their first challengers of the tournament to be Omega and the Young Bucks.
I would agree with that.
The only reason you had these belts is because I wasn't here with them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You're absolutely right. But
it's AEW, so they're not going to do it.
Well, they've got 11 teams that I counted that would be legitimate trios teams that could easily fight in a tournament for that belt.
So you just made a 16-team tournament because there's nowhere to find 15 jobbers to just randomly put in first-round matches.
You could do an 8-team tournament.
No, do 16. Why not? They've got 4 shows.
You can do 16.
If there's 11,
and no one watches any of them, so cool.
Yeah, if there's 11 legitimate trios teams, we'll say, then you could totally do a 16-person tournament.
You can 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bring in independent guys to just work that tournament. It gets them on AEW, it gives them a payday, it gives them exposure.
The Batiri.
That's fine.
Ant.
Oh, paper toss.
Mr. Touchdown and Boomer Hatfield and
Wow.
no. Dasher.
I'm
no selling.
Wow, I loved it. Dickhead won't, but I did.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I'm no selling him.
Chip, put your no, fuck him.
What a mark.
Ryan, what do you got to put over? Probably just
Fuck Reddit. Fuck you, Marks. Don't come find me on Reddit, and we won't fucking yell at each other on the internet.
Wait. Didn't Ryan just say about a half hour ago, I don't understand why we use the term mark, blah, blah, blah.
Right?
That's called fucking people fucking mark.
He forgot. Okay? He's a little high.
I didn't know. I didn't forget because people want to call each other Marks all the time. Because in my opinion, everybody's a Mark. So if I'm like, fuck you, Marks, because everybody's a Mark. I'm a Mark. I know it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fuck you, Marks. You want to talk about wrestling? You're a Mark. Cool. I'm a Mark too. Let's talk about wrestling. Fuck you, Marks.
Ryan, I was hoping you could put the instructions on how to join the PW scorecard and the link to our scorecard in probably the chat or something, so we can get some more people in that are fans of the wrestling show. You guys are welcome to join it. We'll get
Our
that all set
multitude
up.
of fan.
Our multitude of fan. Yeah, so
Yeah, but we're up to 11 people in the scorecard now.
yeah, we'd love to play, and we even got Fat Man in. How did that happen? But
He almost broke the website.
you almost broke the website.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah,
Proudly.
yeah. That's how Pornhub was down for 3 weeks. I'm at TWS Sleazy,
Fuck you. TWS Fat Man.
and the show is at Sleazy Fat Man on Instagram and Twitter. We are at the Wrestling Show on TikTok. We did do one.
We did one TikTok.
Right?
One.
One.
I wasn't in it, which I'm very happy. So I'm
lucky. Yeah, you can find us at.
Wait. Weren't we banned? Didn't we get banned or something?
I got.
Or was it Reddit?
I got my account banned on Reddit.
That's right.
That's neither here nor there. It wasn't Reddit. It was just the WWE subreddit.
Yeah, so we tagged ourselves in the subreddit, and WWE's like, fuck you for trying to put yourself over your banned.
Permanently banned over putting /wrestling show.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain of the game. The blood shedding your name. When there's nothing to gain, all the world gone sad.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.